Hi again everyone, I hope you're all having a great day and are ready for another big week of market action. Anyway, today's video is in response to a request from another viewer to have a look at Workhorse Group stock, ticker symbol WKHS. Also, if you would like me to put together a video like this on another stock, drop the ticker symbol in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Anyway, Workhorse Group was definitely a bit of a sore spot in my portfolio last year, and as such it is one that I have not given as much attention to lately, despite maintaining my accrued position that I had built over the past 18 months. But upon looking over some recent information from analysts, as well as some further company developments, it might be worth having another look at Workhorse stock at the moment and get an understanding of what 2022 is shaping up to be like. To start with, and to put Workhorse in perspective, the stock went public via SPAC back in 2020. I actually started accruing the stock back then when it was around the $7 mark. Then, amongst all the hype of rush towards EV stocks by the market and the seeming promise of Workhorse Group landing the US Postal Service contract, the stock surged, crossing the $40 mark at its peak. At this stage, I was delirious with how well the stock had been going, which I had been accruing. However, I have since learned a valuable lesson about profit taking and not getting too greedy, as I held my stake through the fall on the news of Workhorse not getting the US Postal Service contract. We then had this period here where there was renewed interest in Workhorse Group as a potential short squeeze target. However, with a series of bad headlines, much of the meme mania around the stock dissipated, including the dropping of a legal challenge over the US Postal Service contract. Then there was the recall of some vehicles that had already been delivered and a few senior management resignations from the company. This left the stock to slide to new 18-month lows by the end of the year, with the stock closing the first week of the new year at $4.11. Confidence in Workhorse Group was further eroded when their Q3 results were released in November, with the headline reading a 77-cent per share loss versus analyst expectations of only an 18-cent per share loss. However, I think it is worth keeping in mind that the company is still very much in the infancy of developing their production line, so orders delivered each quarter are not very large, so the discrepancy is not a deal breaker in my mind. One good thing that Workhorse did manage to do in that quarter was to sell down a significant part of their once 20% stake in Lordstown Motors, ticker symbol RIDE, R-I-D-E, before that dipped even further. So in hindsight, that was a good move which added further health to their balance sheet. Now, looking ahead, at the moment, analysts are painting a rosier outlook for the Workhorse Group, considering where the company currently is at. While the Q4 results will be much the same of the small numbers which have been seen since the company went public, there are definitely signals Workhorse will be ramping up production of their vans and drones in 2022. I think many people often forget that Workhorse has already taken several decent sized orders despite missing out on the lucrative US Postal Service contract, so it would seem that some of these are going to start to be fulfilled, with the average analyst expectation for the company to achieve a much improved $17.33 million in revenue in 2022 versus the $1.3 million they're expected to make in 2021. Obviously, there will be some other expenses associated with scaling up production, but this would likely see further improvement to the business's bottom line and will slow their cash burn rate. This figure alone won't be enough to hit profitability, with the company already having operating expenses of $65 million alone just for the first 3 quarters of this year, but it is a significant leap in the right direction and could mean the company could be on track to be profitable in the next couple of years. Time will tell. And I suppose the idea of buying in the stock at this time is placing a bet on this occurring for the company. And then another question that's worth discussing on Workhorse Group: is the current $4.11 price a good point to buy into the stock? Well, one of the indicators I like to look at when buying stock is the net assets per share or tangible book value, among other things. Currently, Workhorse has a $1.14 per share tangible book value as per their Q3 earnings. This is a figure that has been sliding throughout the year as the company burns through cash as they prepare for larger scale production. At the start of 2021, this figure was actually at $3.24. So it's not totally surprising, but it is still good to see that the company is in a positive equity position. Anyway, generally, analysts have become quite neutral on the stock. They do not see it as a total basket case, but many of the buy ratings have since been downgraded to neutral or hold. Interestingly, none of the major analysts covering the stock have rated it as a sell, but there has been a degree of cooling among the analysts, with 3 major analysts having revised downward the price target for the stock in recent weeks. Still, none are suggesting to sell, and the consensus price target among all analysts is currently $9, which is more than 100% up on the current $4.11 stock price. So if you follow analyst guidance, it might actually be a good time to buy the stock. For me, this is actually a fairly positive outlook for the company and would suggest that this is perhaps a good buying point for the stock, but in the current climate, it is hard to say how much further markets are going to be dragged down. And then we have to talk about the EV sector more broadly, which has been earmarked for having a slower year than they had in 2021. And then when you consider the number of curveballs that have come investors' way from Workhorse Group, this makes me think I do not know if I want to continue accruing my position any further at this present point. However, it is worth considering that Workhorse Group, even at these current low prices, is still one of the most heavily shorted stocks on the market. Whether that means the Reddit crowd will once again try another short squeeze on the stock, or conversely, there's a lot of people who don't think Workhorse Group is going anywhere positive anytime soon. On a more positive note, Workhorse has recently found an experienced CFO to fill a void that has been empty since November. Robert Ginnan has a lot of experience in the automotive industry and will hopefully, for Workhorse's sake, be able to ensure that they are using their resources in the most effective way possible. Again, it is a matter of time will tell. Anyway, in short, I'm still hesitant to be fully bullish on the stock, even though I have an accrued position and there is a temptation to add to it at these low prices. Anyway, in short, I'm still hesitant to come out and say I'm fully bullish on where the stock is going. Even though I have an accrued position in the stock, I'm still not totally tempted to buy more based on these low prices. I can't honestly commit to it at this stage. I would like to see the company turn things around, and I believe that 2022 will be a year where investors will get to see if the company can indeed continue to progress positively as they move away from the disappointment around the whole US Postal Service saga. Workhorse in 2022 needs an industrious year, one that is not headlined by high drama, but instead reflects meeting production and quality goals and continuing to sign on more buyers for their products. Anyway, what do you guys think? Will Workhorse fare better in 2022 than they did last year? Do you think the $4.11 price point is a good price for this stock? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if there is a stock you would like me to do a video on like this one, drop a ticker symbol in the comments below and I will see what I can do. Until next time everyone, may the markets trade in your favour. Cheers.